Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we were on the test server last night on stream, playtesting a bunch of the new champions. I'm going to put out a couple of guides on the ones which I think are decent. It's slim pickings. It is slim pickings, honestly. I've never seen a fusion event with so much tat thrown in the mix. There may end up being some super niche stuff that can be done with some of these champions, but right now I'm calling it out. Tolf the Maimed is actually maimed. Pretty terrible champion with a very niche role in the game. Cornelia, very niche role in the game, potentially with some funky stuff in the arena, maybe, but very niche. Shurajin, I'm just not getting him compared to 99% of other decreased attack champions. So the ones which actually feel decent out of the potential epics, and don't even get me started on the rares, they're all tats. The one which feels decent. So Magna does a bit of damage. Magna on his A2 can hit. Yeah, but his A3 doesn't make a lot of sense. You want him to spread an HP burn, not spread the rest of the stuff. So, you know, he might be someone that you guys might want to go for. But this video is going to be about UROGRIM, who's the shining light of the bunch, including the actual fusion. The question is he part of the fusion? And we don't get the answer yet. We still don't know the answer. But I'm going to do a guide on this guy anyway, because he's actually ridiculously cool. And I'm praying to the gods of Raid, praying to the Plarium gods that they put him in. I hope they've put him in. If they haven't put him in, this fusion's a disaster. Because it would be the first fusion I'd ever say to someone, skip it all. Skip the lot. Go on holiday for 2 weeks. Because it feels like it's an absolute bunch of tat coming into the game. So UROGRIM, though. UROGRIM, we played on him last night. It was like, damn, this guy's amazing. This guy's the one. Please let him be in the fusion. This guy's a legendary in an epic skin. I'll tell you that now. It's like Bad L and Steel Skull decided to have a baby, and this is what came out. And they didn't like the way he looked, so they put a blindfold on him. He is the real deal. What's going on? A1, triple hit. Each hit got a chance to lay poisons. Poison's still a very, very good way of doing damage to all of our foes. Especially the further we get through the game, the higher HP our enemies have got, which means poison just gains value, gains value, gains value. The only place where it doesn't gain value is when the passives of the bosses then reduce the damage that poison does to them. But even then, it's still a good amount of damage. Like instead of 5%, it halves to 2.5%. It's still a good amount of damage to do. A2 is a cleanse on a single target and then heals them by 40%. It's a straight up Steel Skull copy. 3-turn cooldown cleanse. Don't know where you might want that. Clan Boss. 3-turn cooldown stun. Yes. So this could synergize well there. And then the A3, triple poison. Richthof the Bold. Stand aside, Mr. Legendary. It goes on for 2 turns as well. So Tomb Lord, stand aside. And then he's like, and tell you what, Dad, I'm going to copy your heal that comes off the back of it as well. Bad L, stand aside. So we've got an epic which needs, 6? It's quite a lot. 11, 13 books. Honestly, you kind of need to book him if you're going to use him. I'd say, like, it just needs to be booked, which, you know, gone are the days where these epics don't need many of the books. This one kind of needs it all, but is worth it, in my opinion. He's also got a speed in all battles aura, just to throw that in the mix. So this guy's the real deal. In terms of mastery setup, I've done this. I've straight up copied someone who's using Richthof the Bold to solo Dragon 25. Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, talk me through what you're doing. So basically, the idea here is you've got offense tree, basically doing more damage when you're low health, yes. A chance to increase speed. This is the main reason for the offense tree, to be honest. When you kill stuff, you get faster. And when your allies die, you get faster. Okay, so they're the two kind of big ticket items which enable this to work. On the support tree, accuracy, yes. When your poisons drop off, chance to get turn meter boost. Laura's Steel for a bit of boost as well. I've put in here Cycle of Magic just to get a chance to get my skill back quicker, because there's no reason not to. And we end up with Oppressor. So turn me to feel for each active debuff cast by this champion stacks up to 10%. You'll see in a minute why we've got that one. And this is a pretty niche mastery. Very rare that I ever use this on any champion at all. So it kind of just fits this role. So what have we done then? We've put him in regen set with one set of accuracy gear, perception gear, sorry. My aim is to build my resistance up, build my speed up, build my accuracy up, and get some defensive stats. It's a kind of stat-hungry build, but it is a very endgame build as well. So you can tone this down depending on what level you're on. But I'm going to be fighting level 25 stuff, yeah? So we've got defense gloves, we've got HP chest, we've got speed boots. Regen gear is important for this because you want to keep that health topped up. And as I said, I was looking for resistance and accuracy in my pieces so that I can resist what's coming at me. I can land my debuffs. I've got way more accuracy than I need. I'm probably about 40 or so accuracy over what I need here. 220-ish speed is the goal. And then a good amount of defense and health. Okay, and then he is just a beast when it comes to being the solo farmer. So, when you get to this sort of level, you don't farm campaign anymore. You farm dungeons. Yeah, because you get gear at the same time as leveling your champions. And getting silver. Like, that's the dream. So triple poison out there. Then he gets his cannon. Massive stuff. Look how big his staff is, by the way. Or he's in the Olympics. Got the Olympic torch out. All of your side ads die. Tons of poisons are out there. So we're getting our mastery kicking in. Our tier 6 mastery's kicking in with a load more. Turn meter 10% more. You can see the turn meter field just popping up every time poisons go off. And it's not the fastest thing to do in the world, but it allows you to bring 4 food in to the highest level dungeon of Dragon. Yeah? And he solos it. And this is the same thing you can do with a Tomb Lord, with a Rishtoth the Bold. I think some people may have done it with Bad Hell as well, or got close to it. But it's ridiculous. Like, level 25 Dragon, we've done a wave in a minute. And honestly, with a lot of proper legendary built teams, it takes you a minute to hit them to death, let alone just throwing poisons out there. So this kind of poison stack is just gross. And he gets it round so quick. 3 turn cooldown on that ability. That's why I say you need to book it, really, because these heals do come in pretty clutch. But, even his A1's chopping out more poison. It's just kind of gross. So if this guy's in the fusion, then we've got a champion. We've got someone worth going for. If not, in all honesty, on a 2 times Void event, where you get a decent amount of epics, there's not a wide enough epic pool that they're super uncommon to get yet. It's getting wider, obviously, with the more Tolf, the Maimed, and people like that they bring in. But at the moment, it's not so wide that they're not obtainable. Obviously, we have less Void shards and that sort of stuff. You do have to wait for a 2 times Void to really have a good chance. But if anyone's getting this guy, damn. Look at the work he's doing on Dragon. Stand aside, Septimus. I'm in town, and I'm doing the damage. Look at that. 4 ticks of damage worth, and he's basically on the floor. You could just imagine synergizing this guy with, Xavier for waves, and then just doing the boss by himself. And that is a 2-minute 25 run on Dragon 25. No problem. See you later. See you later. Get in the dirt. And he can basically, he can't do quite the same thing on Ice Golem. But let me show you Ice Golem as well. 25. So he's Void. So there's no negative affinity for him here. There's no negative. Let's take out a few champs. Let's try... I just want a little bit of sustain in the team. So something like this. This is going to be long. But I just want to give you a feel for... maybe you could get a couple of food in. How tight can I make this? Probably about that. So that's probably going to be about it. So maybe you can just get a couple of food in the mix as well. And then he comes in Ice Golem. Kind of does the same. It's harder. Ice Golem's harder than Dragon, to be fair. You can't just go and solo it. But you can still do a lot of work. We've got 2 food just sitting in the background. They need to die. If these guys ever get a turn, they might not, because we've got 2 absolute legendary free champions in the mix. Just spamming out those provokes and stuns and all that sort of business. And what I'll do is I'll fast forward this to get us onto the boss, because I don't want you to waste your day. No time is precious, but near enough all of the damage here is coming from these poisons. Like, the hits are not doing much in comparison. 2k, 3k versus poisons doing, 16k a pop. A pop. Both of the little boys are dead. Obviously, Syl's going to keep picking them up. She's a bit weird like that. But anyway, I'll fast forward it onto the boss. So, I mean, it's taken us 3 minutes. We got onto the boss stage. Cool thing about poisons against this boss is it doesn't trigger his retribution hits. So if you get him to poison dip over one of his retributions, he won't come and smack you back. So it just makes him kind of busted for this as well, to be honest. The worst thing about this type of setup that I've got right now is that the side adds are quite difficult to get down, because I've not got loads of damage coming elsewhere. It's pretty much why you can't solo one of these fights, because your defense just is gone, which means you're taking this sort of level of damage, and that's nasty. Oh, we might not make it. I think we're in trouble, guys. I think we're in trouble. We need these side adds to be well and truly dead. Then we've got a chance. Be dead. Good. You see the way we haven't had that retribution hit yet? We might get it now because he's actually doing damage to him. No, we still haven't had it. See what I mean? Like, the poisons against this fella are kind of broken. We're at the point where he's not done a single retribution revive hit. And we are going to do it. So out of the damage that was done in that fight, he has done 7 million, Visix 800, Syl 350. This guy's the real deal for endgame dungeons, for sure. Like, that's insane. That's an insane amount of work that this little baby's doing here. So, you know, could you use him elsewhere? He's got a triple hit, A1, so finite, great. And obviously heal, damage, all that type of stuff. Just as effective, basically. He's a void champion. He's going to do the same thing in finite. Obviously, doesn't have any mechanics for turn meter on the boss. You'd need a full team. But he'll do the same work against the waves, which just makes him super viable kind of anywhere, maybe except Spider. You don't want to be loading up a load of poisons on Spider. So yeah, Faction Wars, it'll be strong. Like, healing your team, supporting your team, putting poison damage out for the bosses, all going to be good. I'd imagine even Doom Tower waves, you know, if you're trying to take on waves of high-end content, he's going to come in there and do a ton of work. So, same sort of thing, really. We've got his speed aura. We love it. Between poison and HP burn, I think you've got everything you need to kill the waves. Other than that, you're just saying, like, how do I stay alive? So, you know, I bring in, again, control champions, stun champions, and somebody else who's going to shield us. Who have I got that can step in here? You don't need decreased defense because all of the work's been done by burns and poison. So it's more about who else can come in and just keep me alive. I don't know if she's built. She's probably missing something, but it's not terrible. Yeah, you know, someone like Vogoth, Rector, all of these type of champions that just do passive healing for you whilst the poisons do their work. And it should be, for those people that don't have the magic sear weapon to get you through waves, look how we're chunking their health every time these poisons tick in, and the burns. The two together just become obnoxious, honestly. As long as you've got enough control through the rest of your team, it's just about sitting back, throwing that auto on, and just praying to the gods that something freak doesn't happen. So you kind of get the idea. I'm not going to make you watch all of this, but again, like, the further you push up in Doom Tower, the higher health pool the enemies have, and the harder it is to kill them just with slapping them with damage is not going to do the job. Poisons, burns is where it's at to get their damage done. So for wave content, I think he's going to be absolutely nuts. He's also healing the rest of your team, by the way. He's also keeping everyone else in the fray. So, you know, he's doing a ton of work. And you kind of get the idea. So anything wave content based, high level opponents, he's going to be strong. And then when you come to bosses, where there's multiple bosses, he's strongest, I guess. Don't forget, these bosses now have got passives that reduce poison damage. Certainly on hard, is it? I forget whether it's on normal as well. I think it is, but certainly on hard, they've got a passive which halves the damage that you take from poison. But someone like Agref, I feel like he could do some work in. So same type of thing here. Just bringing in champions that can lay the damage, and then other champions that are going to just protect your team. You do want to bring a cleanser, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. But even like Reliquary is great for a cleanse here. And then, you know, the usual really, usual crowd, Doom Priest doing work. But I feel like these two should do the work to do the damage on someone like Agref. So, as I said, like, I really hope he is part of the fusion. And he's probably not. But I really hope he is, because if he's not, there's not much else going for us in this fusion. I will show you a guide on Mother Sybil today. I know that's not how you pronounce her name. I just prefer Sybil. It's like an old English woman's name. Just makes it feel better. Yeah, look, I will do a bit of a showcase. And if anyone wants to go and watch my Twitch stream back from last night, there's always a VOD up. So you go to Hell Hades TV on Twitch. The VOD, which is like a video on demand, I guess that's what it stands for, will be available. So you can just watch me kind of playtesting a few of these. We did playtest the Lion, the Fox, we did the Fusion, and we did a couple of the Epics. And this was definitely my favourite of the bunch, albeit the two Void legendaries are both really strong. They are both strong champions, but they're certainly not part of the Fusion. So, you know, the chance of any of us getting those for a while is pretty slim. But yeah, let's get onto the boss and see if he actually does some work here. Okay, so on to Agref. We know that Drexar does work here as well. Super good for this fight. Throwing out the HP burns nice and early when we get those first hits. My question is whether, you know, the poison is just going to give us that extra benefit as well. Obviously, the heals will. So the heals and the cleanse that he does will, but we've got the triple poisons out there. What's the passive here? Let me just check it. Max HP. Just checking there's not any sort of silliness about poisons. Here we go. So, and that's his ability. Yeah, so I think it's all good. We'll just get a bit of work done. We'll see what sort of damage he's done at the end from the poison damage. But the good thing is, obviously, anything that's just popping on someone, like the poisons or the burns, doesn't activate their counterattack. So it's a solid way of doing damage whilst not getting yourself in trouble from these little spiderlings. Got the more poison going out now. We've got the regen going. I guess it does kill the spiderlings quicker, which you have to be a little bit careful of. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid strat. Certainly in this dungeon. Yeah, maybe it's before you even get the HP burn in action. And we just get the ticks of poison going on as like the equivalent. But yeah, he's going to fill out the debuff bar. And obviously, he's going to be absolutely solid in Clan Boss. You know, as a poisoner, as a healer, cleanser. So once we've done this, we'll get on and just try the Clan Boss hits. Just with a very basic team. Because I want to see if he does. Like, Steel Skull's biggest weakness is he doesn't like cleansing a stun with his A2. Like, he just doesn't want to do it. So I'm hoping that the AI of this guy is not like his mum's. And he actually does cleanse the stun. Because if he does, then he's like Steel Skull Mark 2.0 and some. So this looks like it's going to be an absolute clean sweep. We should be good. So he's dead. Drexar's done 6 million, but Eurogrim's done 2.9 mil. Pretty solid. So yeah, I think, albeit they've got passives to help them against it, it's still not a bad way to do some damage. So last thing then, let's get him into Clan Boss and see what he's going to do there. So I've changed his masteries up a touch here. I probably did his support ones a bit wrong. I didn't really think before I started doing it, but I kind of want Master Hexer. I kind of want Lasting Gifts for his heals, albeit maybe Sniper's just better so he gets more chance to land poison on his A1. We end with War Master, pretty standard clan boss side on the offense. Okay, so I'm going with an all-epic team here. Tyrell as my decreased attack and decreased defense. Wheaton from Geo. Poison, healing, counter-attack, damage from Geo as well. So the idea here, really what I want to check is, does this guy give us... does he give us a cleanse? Is he a cleanse option for this team? That's what we're checking. So A2 here. I need to do one full rotation before we hit auto, just so I can get us to the point where we take a stun. I think I've got Tyrell in a toxic set here, so this might end up throwing up too much poison, but we'll see. Trying to keep all of the debuffs going. A1 it here. A1 it here. Skull Crusher is our ally protector in this team. And the reason why they sometimes don't cleanse is, like, Steel Skull likes to just cleanse one of these little poisons off. If he sees one out there, he's like, yes, that's the target, which is a pretty dumb thing to do. So A1 again, A1 again. On auto, slow it down. Stun comes in. What are you going to do? So he didn't decide to cleanse it there, even though somebody was stunned. Maybe that's because I don't... Maybe if I set him up in a team setup to prioritize it. Let's see. Okay, so I've just done a team preset to make sure that he prioritizes that ability. Pretend he's doing that right now. I guess maybe we just would have done it if I just pressed auto from here. So one more test then, let's see. So he doesn't have it available now because I've already used it. Is he going to cleanse his stun? So we've already filled, I mean, I've got some debuffs in here that I don't need, which is a bit dodgy, but I've already overfilled the debuff bar, which is a little bit worrying for things like decreased attack. So definitely, I mean, Tyrell's in toxic set, so that's not helping us. So here we go. Magic moment. Stun comes out. Is he going to cleanse it? He is going to cleanse the stun. Okay, cool. So, I mean, and maybe, to be honest, I've not tried Steel Skull in a while. Maybe you can just get Steel Skull to do the same thing, in fairness. So, that's cool. I mean, now that he's doing that, and you do kind of just have to do a little bit of setup, then it makes him super viable for Clan Boss as well. Heals, tons of poison, a cleanse for your stun hits. Damn, this guy is like the real deal. He's solid everywhere in the game, pretty much. Right, maybe except Arena. Don't forget as well, I could have put him in as the lead for 20% more speed for my team, bringing my required numbers down. But in that instance, he can't cleanse himself. So you'd have to think of a different way to kind of move the stun target somewhere else. But cleanse, away we go. Pretty damn solid. So just to finish the video off, I'll let this run through, see what sort of damage this makeshift team does. And yeah, and then we'll round it up. The only reason the run's ended where it has actually is because decrease attack dropped off of the clan boss. So Tayro didn't land it in like 3 turns, which is quite unlucky, but it happens. Still like 15 million worth of damage, and UROGRIM's doing 5.5. Geomancer, that we know is kind of busted for damage, 4.5. So this dude is absolutely like top draw. Like this, please, let's say it again. Please be part of the fusion. If he is, everyone, this is the champion to get. He's absolutely top draw across multiple places in this game. I've been Hell Hades. I will catch you later.